Very well, thank you for having joined us in case you just have, and I hope you're having a good day so far. My name is Rita Cabanyero, and we're going to be speaking right about now about entrepreneurship motivation and management. And every time we speak about entrepreneurship or entrepreneurs, some of you may be one of the persons who actually is confused a bit, not knowing who actually it is or even what you're supposed to be doing. Well, I have got an expert for you to share with us more on that. So let's look forward to learning from her. Joining me now is Miss Barbara, Dr. Barbara Biondo, who is the chairperson of the Uganda Women Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us this particular day. I hope you're having a good time.
Thank you so much, Rita, for this opportunity. I'm having a good time because women issues is so close to my heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you as well for shining a light on COVID-19, advocating for safety, always not taking off the mask. I still appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now, if we could kick it from sharing with us who exactly is the entrepreneur, because people actually some of them do not know who they are. Even you might find some of them are already enterprising, but they do not know how. And if you could share as well who is entitled to entrepreneurship.
Thank you so much, Rita. Everyone on earth is entitled to entrepreneurship. It's just the levels.
Okay.
Because when you're born, God designs you to meet a need. And we are different. I will be into the area of women. God has really, for me, I feel God has called me in the area of women, children, and youth. That is my area. So someone else out there has other areas that they have been called, designed to meet the need in that area. So that is where the journey of entrepreneurship begins, because what is the need in that sector? We have several sectors in this country, in the world, but everyone has where they have been called to solve a need. When you begin seeing problems in an area, like for me, things of children will catch my eye and bring a lot of pain on my heart. When I see a woman not being handled well, it brings a lot of pain in my heart. And I would try as much as possible to look for a solution. I relate so well with the youth because whatever is happening to them is close to my heart. So that area that is close to your heart normally is where you become enterprising in it, because you're solving a problem, you are having the pain, you're listening. A TV advert or a story will be played on TV or written in a newspaper, but sometimes it may not catch your eye because it's not your area. You do not have pain, yet there are people who feel a lot of pain in that area. So when you have pain in that area, I believe you are even the person to get a solution, because when the pain comes in, then you start asking yourself, how best can we solve this? In the solution of that problem is where entrepreneurship begins.
Okay, so it begins with the passion and interest in solving a problem. So it's not about profitability. How about perspectives of profitability?
Thank you, Rita. The issue of profitability really comes in. You find that as you're giving this service and it's growing and you're having more people come on, you find that profitability comes automatically. But as you begin getting into this journey, you also need to learn how to run it better. Okay. Giving my story, I started schools as a passion. It was really my passion. For me, I wanted to see every child in school. Telling a parent that do not pay the school fees was a very big deal for me, because sometimes when I tell them, a parent comes and tells you, I do not have money. Let the child sit home. So I would feel so bad. How do I leave this child sit home? And again, the enterprise also needs money to grow. So that is why I now went to learn entrepreneurship, so that I can be able to give out my passion, serve with all my heart, but when the enterprise can also be able to be looked after, to grow, and be able to have more children come in.
Okay, very well. And speaking of schools, by the way, she is the CEO of Victoria's schools around the country. And how have you found the journey of entrepreneurship, leadership through entrepreneurship, you being the chairperson now of the Uganda Women Entrepreneurs? First, share with us where has been the challenge, the loopholes. How are you even bridging the gap?
Thank you so much, Rita. At Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Association, we have all categories, all levels of women. We have the grassroots women, we have the micro, the small business owner, we also have the big players in the market. So you find that all these other people we have one platform. The professions are on this side, the non-professions are on this side.
You're segmented.
Yes, so the platform brings all of us together. Okay. So beginning to integrate and seeing that everyone is catered for is really a great challenge. But the good news is, the issue is that we are looking at the platform is a women platform. So you begin encouraging everyone, whatever you have, please, it is going to empower another person. Let us see that the grassroots women are empowered to do great things. Because sometimes at the grassroots, you find that the men, maybe about 28% have a say. But most of these women at the grassroots, whatever they are going to do, they have to have permission from the husband. When they get the money, it's the husband to decide on how it's going to be spent and maybe how it will be saved. So you find that when you are a professional on this platform, you now begin helping this lady who needs empowerment, and you're growing them up. We also have the young girls in Uganda Women Entrepreneurs, because we believe the next generation is from the young people. So if we do not walk alongside these young women, then they will never be the us in their generation. And if we can do it now well, then we are going to have a better generation, because the us were not mentored while we were young. We found ourselves into the market. We found ourselves running these enterprises. Can I say accidentally? Because there was no one intentionally helping to walk us through. But when we now have these young women that we are walking with them through, then by the time they are growing their enterprises, then they will be so confident and do their things well. So it's a platform that I will not say it is challenging in a negative way, but it challenges you to think and blend the right way of having all these stakeholders on one group, and see how to mentor them, see how to learn business from business. How do you learn? We have different sectors: education, agriculture, crafts. So we also...
So you're bringing out different passions from different people
that
to make sure they realize themselves and become enterprising. Am I right to say that? And then why women? Isn't it an issue of, I can say, gender around here? Why have you found out that women need so much attention regarding entrepreneurship?
Thank you so much. The founder of You Will, Mama Mbire, in about 1987, when she started You Will, at that time, it was a taboo for women to really run a business. It was something that was not really thought of. The men are already, it's like it's a natural thing for a man to run a business. So this association is coming on board to tell a woman, you can, and we are going to work with you. What are the things that you need? Basically, you need to register your business, you need to do accounting, you need to market your business, you need to have quality of your product. All these are now intentional things that we do with the women so that they can come to that platform. That is why women. And two, many times women do not have collateral. They walk to the bank and most of the requirements needed, they may tick X.
Security,
Yes. So when that happens, they get discouraged. And to tell you, a woman in this nation, in this world, is very important. When a woman has money, children will eat well. When a woman has money, children will go for treatment. Their health will be catered for. And you know, it's very important to cater for the health of a generation.
Is it not that when every parent has got money, children will eat well, or children will feed, have medical, every parent, regardless a woman or a man? Is it not right that way?
I don't believe that.
Correct me. We stand to be corrected, and you can share your comments on our social media platforms.
I don't believe that because I have seen families where the father has money and children are not going to school. I have seen a family where you find that the health of the children has a problem and yet the father has the money. So for me, I really stand to say that when the woman has money, the family is safe. And when the family is safe, because they are going to eat well, they are going, not eating anyhow, but at least having the basics in the home. Then when the child is catered for in a better way, their health, then you find that the brain develops well. And that brain that develops well creates innovators, creates competent people, and also you find that the children will go to school. And who can, my father, one thing he used to say is, the investment I can do to my children is education. So if the women have really, they know that each woman wants to see their child in school. So when the children have gone to school, then they are able to move to another level of their work. So it's something that I really stand for and I advocate for. And mind you, when a woman knows anything good, they call it women talk. I will come and tell you, Rita, have you heard about this thing? This thing has done well with me. The gospel continues and continues. So,
and they say, support a woman, support the nation.
Very true.
And you can as well generate as many as you want quotes on that.
Yes.
But now let's share, let's now dive into being enterprising. Where are the resources? Where does it come from? How can I be enterprising?
Thank you, Rita. I would just encourage anyone there that whatever you have, the skills that you have, the networks that you have, begin with that. Because for me, I love children. I just want to give an example of myself. I love children so much, I really enjoy being in their space. So when I started teaching, I didn't have money. In fact, this school...
You were employed?
Yes, I was employed. By the time I was beginning Victorious, I had 1 million shillings. And that is where I began. I started with one child. They came to about 30. The whole year I had 30 children. And that is where the journey began. So I do not really say have money first. Start with what you have. And sometimes we make a mistake of borrowing when we are beginning. I would also discourage that. Begin with what you have. Let it grow. As it's growing, you see that now you have market, then you can borrow to grow. But for starting, please start with what you have and where you are.
Very. And just for emphasis and more motivation, we're speaking about motivating and as well as managing enterprises or entrepreneurship. Let me take you back to starting Victorious. If you could still share with us. I know someone is out there wanting to listen more from you. The 1 million was yours from your saving. I do not know, you will tell us. And then was the structure there already? Did you have structures of schools already? Please share with us and just a bit for one to really be inspired this day.
Thank you, Rita. In 1999, when Victorious began, I had 1 million shillings. I did not have any property. I went out to rent.
Okay.
And when I went out to rent, the landlord wanted 6 months. But the 1 million I had couldn't even go in rent. So I sat and I discussed with the landlord and said, look here, when the children come, as they keep coming, I will be able to pay.
Okay.
Just allow me begin with what I have. I also went to the carpenter that made for me the chairs, because I didn't start even with a table. I just started with 30 chairs. When the time for writing
30 chairs. So you were expecting already 30 children.
Because I was looking at least having baby class, middle class, and pre-primary.
Okay.
So I was looking at having 10 chairs in every level. So that is how I came up with 30. And that was the number that the carpenter also allowed to do for me on hire purchase, because I didn't also have enough money for that, because I needed all what is needed in a school, like the blackboards, you need the chairs, you need at least to make the place habitable, chalk, books, uniform. I gave the uniforms to the first 30 children. It was like a promotion. You come and you have a place and there's a free uniform for you. So it was not sufficient enough, but I began with that. So that's why I say, do not look at how much you have. Look at your situation and ask yourself, what exactly do I have? Budget on what you have. When I looked at the 1 million, I looked at the major things which I needed the place, and I didn't have a place. I had to go and rent it out, negotiate for the rent of that place. I needed furniture that I didn't have enough money for, negotiated on that, so that at least the huge bills have been catered for. Then I began. Then also the teachers, I talked to them. I told them, we are beginning, but I do not have money. In fact, I started paying them 50,000 shillings. But I sat with them and I told them, I do not have money.
That's after a month.
Yeah, when we were just beginning, I shared with them. I said, we are beginning, but we are the one to work to make this a school that will pay us. The more we work, the more we shall be paid. So let's begin with this. As the children keep coming, I will also keep working on your pay, which happened. Sometimes we say that, then we forget, because someone has a sacrifice. They really sacrificed. 50,000 was so little. There was a teacher who had come from a great school. That time they were paying her about 250,000. But because, yes, and she allowed to work with me for 50,000. And she has worked with us now. We are 22 years. She is one of the staff in Victorious.
Very. And I'm picking from your talk, I'm picking passion, I'm picking creativity there, I'm picking support, I'm picking maybe what you have that is maybe could be saving or reaching out to people, as well as really good communication. That is so far what I'm picking. What else do we need, or what are the elements or thereabouts to go and help us be enterprising?
So in that field that you have chosen to do, you also need to understand it. Like for me, now I was going to do nursery. What exactly was out there for me to know in the nursery school? I went out to visit schools and see what they are doing so that I can really benchmark. So don't just sit back and say, I have this information, I am passionate, I have this, let me begin. What is the market out there offering? It's very important for you to know that. Then you can be able to do what you're supposed to do. Then if you do not have any knowledge and you are the entrepreneur, I request that you get some little knowledge. I started a kindergarten as a secondary school qualified teacher, not a kindergarten. So what I did to myself was now to enroll and do a certificate in nursery.
Because you are not skilled in that field.
Yes. So there is need for you to skill yourself in that area. And indeed, when I did this course, it helped me to understand children more. Yes.
Okay. And as well, if when I'm looking at the journey or your journey that you were sharing and comparing to what is happening around the country or globally right now, we tend to do like maybe copy and paste. I do not know, because I have seen doctor here set up a boutique, is going through very well. When I have the money, I feel like that's what I want. Sometimes we don't even know what we want, but because we see maybe someone, you visit a friend and then you see money coming in daily when they're selling maybe fruits. So I tell myself, I think I need to start with this fruit. So how can we change that perspective?
I really want to appreciate you for recognizing that. It's the greatest mistakes we make in the journey of entrepreneurship. Looking at what someone else is doing and thinking that I'm going to make money. So that now changes the perspective of why you are doing what you are doing. Because for you, you just want to go and get money. How about the day when you will not have money? Sometimes for us now in schools, 2 years, we do not have. So you find that there are schools that have now changed. There are people who have already gone into houses. They have transformed their schools into rentals. There are those that have transformed into lodges, into whatever. The whole idea is changing. You go back to ask, why did you establish that? So I really would wish that you find out your passion. You find out the reason why you want to do what you want to do. In the low moments, in times when there is difficulty, you will always find that you derive strength out of that low moment. Because in the world, there are always low and high moments. But in those low moments, the only thing which will keep you there is the reason why you began what you are doing. And also, the other thing that will keep you in there is to see a transformation. Is that the area that you want to see transformed? So you'll find that you will always look out for knowledge. For me, like I shared with you, I did the nursery education. After nursery, when we started primary, I went and I did a postgraduate in primary education, because still I hadn't yet really been trained as a primary teacher. So when I did that postgraduate in primary education, it enhanced my skills in primary. I have skills for secondary. So for me, I can teach right from baby class up to university, because in the process I have been enhancing my skills to be able to be competent in what I'm doing, to be able to understand it, and I love doing it. Supposing I had gone to learn about ECD, young children, when I'm not interested, I think I wouldn't really enjoy it. Supposing I had gone to learn about primary education and I'm not really enjoying it, I would have failed, I believe. So when you do what you love to do, you'll find a lot of energy, you'll find a lot of naturally you are just pushed.
Okay, so it doesn't just stop from, starting or what. You have to keep on pushing for more upgrades.
Yeah.
And exactly, we do take a break, but when we do return, please stay with us, because we're going to look at and shine a light on those challenges you're having there and how you could improve them, and what are the indicators of success that you're now really thriving out and you're good to go. We take a break. To stay with us. This is SMB.